Yeah, you can take a seat. Sure. Namandab, 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 namandab. Nam. Okay, good morning, everyone. Morning. Thanks for coming to this Sunday service this morning. So today's Sutra chanting is Sambutsuge. Sambutsuge using this purple orange service book. Where is that? Sambutsuge is a page 12 on this orange service book. Then today's Gata is a with Gassho from the heart. Then the reading is our pledge. Then after that, I give a short Dharma message. Okay. Or we begin with Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandab, 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 Namandab. Page 12, Sambutsuge, chanting of Sambutsuge on the page 12. Gogen Gigi Iji Mugoku Nyoze Emyon Muyo Toshan Nichigatmani Shukouen Kaishin Onpei Yunyaku Jumok Nyorai Yougen Chouse Murim Shougaku Daihon Kouru Jipon Kaimon Shoujin Sammai Chihen Itoku Muryon Shushokeun Jimtai Zennen Shobuten Hokai Gujin Jin no Kugo Gaitai Mumyo Yokunut Seson Yomu 任のしし人徳無量空君広大知恵人妙高有妙有悲壮神道有大戦願が差別在所有法有法可動所有人未不下脱不正常有非会人所有人尿税三昧知恵以上五世特別不行志願一切空空一切大半決しうぶ百千億万無量大小修行五者供養一切死と勝負不尿愚道検証不逆非尿五者勝負世界不可欠無種節道公有名有師匠変師匠国尿税精進異人難量量が差別国土第一五種奇妙道有上有長有絶国如内本二無とそがと有背民道断一切自法由来所信念所有上意というが国経楽反応こういう分神妙是が心象本願の日力所有所有欲自法生存知恵無下上有量有子孫知が信行軽量心身食毒中が行有所有人民主不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダ 나만다분 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 간니시그도큰 묘도세이사이 노유헛보다이시 오유저은 안다고 나모아미다仏나모아미다仏나반다 나반다 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 Okay, thank you. The next is which one comes first? Gatha. Gatha with Gassho from the heart. If you feel comfortable, please stand for Gatha and remain standing for the our pledge, reading of our pledge.
Here we've come together, some from near and some afar, in spite of all our differences, we reach for the same bright star, and on this human pathway we may err a step or two, but always we'll remember to feel deep gratitude and hear and say the Nembutsu as we gasho with hands placed together. Without a shred of doubt, we joyfully receive the truth. With gasho from the heart, con gasho no coração, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. As we gasho with hands placed together, without a shred of doubt, we joyfully receive the truth. Gasho shimashou, utaimashou, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. With
Okay, please remain standing for our pledge. Please join me in Gassho. Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Namo. Okay, thank you. Please be seated. Okay, thank you again for coming to this Sunday service this morning. So as I mentioned, today's Dharma message, I would like to talk about how to prepare, how to write the Dharma message. As a Buddhist minister, this is one of the kind of weekly assignment, homework I have to do. Every week, I have to prepare something to talk. Then besides that, monthly newsletter, funeral service, a memorial service, all different occasions as a Buddhist minister have an opportunity to deliver a Dharma message. So this is one of my favorite photo. I think this is a 2018 or 2019 Bon Odori time, Bon Odori opening service. Then, well, again, we missed this Hondo. Then because of this, lots of people from non-member visitors also come to the Hondo and sitting and listening the Buddha's teaching together in the Hondo. So that's why I really like this photo. You can find this photo on the Seattle Betsuin's website too. So before I go into the how to write a Dharma message, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my educational background as a Buddhist minister. So please go to the next page. So when I decided to become a Kaikyoshi minister, first I went to this school. It is called Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin. Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin. This is located in Kyoto. If you have been to the tour with probably Sekiya Sensei, probably her tour visited this, probably close to this location, because Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin is located next to Jodo Shinshu branch temple, where in our Nishi Honganji says where the place Shinran Shonin passed away. So then, our Nishi Honganji, we built Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin for all the ministers, probably first impression was maybe for the temples, families, temples, son and daughter to study Buddhism, they can come to Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin to study. So there's right now, I think 2 years course. The first it is called Honka, to study really basic of general Buddhism, basic of Jodo Shinshu doctrine, basic of sutra chanting and ritual. Then some classes we have to learn calligraphy, flower arrangement. What did I do? There's so many things, so many things we learn to learn as a basic as a Buddhist minister. Then after I graduate, so then this school is focusing on Tokudo ordination and Kyoshi certification. Those who want to receive the Tokudo ordination and Kyoshi certification, lots of people students goes to this school. Then this school, Chiyobukkyo Gakuin, is also providing online correspondence course as well. So if Japanese is good enough, you can take. Unfortunately, they only provide a Japanese online correspondence course. But if you wish, you can also take this class. But for English speaking, there is another Jodo Shinshu correspondence course organized by Jodo Shinshu International, JSIO, Jodo Shinshu International Office in Berkeley. They are offering the online Jodo Shinshu correspondence course. So that's 2 years program. Those who are interested in learning Jodo Shinshu, you can sign up for the correspondence course. Okay, then the second year, I went to the next school. It is called, next slide, Gonshiki Shidosho. Gonshiki Shidosho. Those who went to, visited Honganji, if you ever visited the Monpo Kaikan, there's a kind of hotel, place for our members to stay. Just right next to the Honganji, there's a Monpo Kaikan people can stay there. Then under ground level or underground level, there's a restaurant as well. So then next to the Monpo Kaikan, there is another building called Monto Kaikan. Then Gonshiki Shidosho was using this building. The Gonshiki Shidosho is a school to learn Honganji and the ritual, ceremony, and sutra chanting. This is a school focusing on, on the left side of the picture, this is Honganji's Owasachi morning service. Those who are sitting in front or in the inside the Naijin altar, not all of them, most of them are really trained chanting masters are sitting there. Then usually, on those who are wearing the green gojogesa, there's 2 rows. The first rows are instructors, the teachers are sitting. The second row, usually the students are sitting. So I was there. When I went to the Gonshiki Shidosho, I used to sit the second row behind the instructors and teachers. Then I was learning Honganji's chanting and ritual and sutra chanting. So Reverend Tadao Koyama, Takoma Buddhist Temple, also graduated from this school. So this school is focusing on train, nurture the minister who can serve for the Honganji. Okay, the next slide is I went to the Dendoin. Dendoin is called a school to study how to deliver the Dharma message. So this is also located close to the Honganji, our headquarters. Across the street, Horikawa Street, there is this type of building. There's lots of orange stores, lots of stores. Just 1 or 2 blocks away from the Horikawa Street, you can find this building. It is called Dendoin. So when I went there, that was 3 months intensive training. So all the students stayed there for 3 months. So just learning, focusing on delivering the Dharma message. Every day, go to Honganji's morning service, then taking a class to learn how to deliver the Dharma message. Of course, regardless, who minister goes to this school or not, minister has to deliver the Dharma message at the local temple. But when we go to the Honganji, our headquarters, one minister coming in front, then one minister deliver the message, Dharma message, at the Honganji. So delivering the Dharma message at the Honganji has to have special license to deliver the Dharma message at the Honganji. So I also graduated this school as well. So I graduated these 3 schools of Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin to learn the basic of Buddhism and Jodo Shinshu. The second year, I went to Gonshiki Shidosho to study Honganji, the ritual, sutra chanting. The third year, I went to the Dendo-in to study how to deliver the Dharma message. Then when I went to these schools, 3 schools, my teacher keeps saying the same thing. One thing, please go to the next slide. I hope this makes sense to you, but the ritual and the Dharma talk are the kind of 2 wheels of the Buddhist propagation. So just like kind of rear car. So if just one wheel is bigger than the other, this doesn't go forward smoothly. So both sides of the wheel are so important to move forward. So in Jodo Shinshu's propagation, the ritual and the Dharma message is just like these 2 wheels. Both has to be work properly. So that's why both of them are so important. Both of them are so important. Then today, I'm focusing on the Dharma message. Then please go to the next slide. So the Dharma talk is, sometimes it was saying oajiwai in Japanese, oajiwai. Sharing my oajiwai. Oajiwai. So oajiwai means sharing how I taste a food. So I'm sharing how I enjoy this food. So that's the meaning of oajiwai. The example is this lady is eating ramen noodle. Then if it is so delicious, you may share how you like this ramen noodle with your friends. So to share how you enjoy this food, first, you have to eat, right? You have to eat first. Then you can share how you enjoy this food. Otherwise, you cannot share how you like it. So Dharma message is just like this. So first, I have to listen. I have to bring the Buddha Dharma into myself. Then I can share how I appreciate, how I enjoy, how I taste this Dharma with other friends. So this is the Dharma message. So that's why sometimes I feel, this is a little bit different from the lecture or study class. So lecture or study class is more like a doctrinal kind of using the knowledge. We have to introduce lots of knowledge or skills. But Dharma talk is a little bit different, that this is kind of personal appreciation I am sharing. Of course, there's a kind of overlap, but if I have to say the difference between Buddhist seminar, Buddhist lecture, Buddhist study class, and Dharma message is oajiwai, sharing how I appreciate, how I enjoy the Dharma. Then the Dharma study class is more like a knowledge, or we are learning the teaching, the doctrine. So that is a study class. Okay, next slide. So now I'd like to start. There is a kind of basic steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, how to write the Dharma message. So did you bring the memo paper? Maybe if you want to try to write your Dharma talk, then you don't have to show anybody else. If you want to, you can send it to me. Yeah. I'm happy to read your Dharma message. Then if it is a good one, I can invite you to come here. Then, or I can introduce that in the monthly newsletter as well. Yeah, if you have a brave enough, you can come. Yeah. Okay, the next slide. Okay, step 1. Step 1 is pick a teaching or passage from the sacred writings. like teaching from Three Pillars Sutra, teaching from Shinran Shorin's writings, Seven Masters' writings. So today we chanted the Sambutsuge. That's a part of the larger sutra. So you can use one phrase from the Sambutsuge. That's also possible. Or one phrase from the Juseige, one phrase from Shoshinge. You know, even this service book has a lot of teachings included. So I just take the example from the Shinran Shorin's hymns, wasans. So Shinran Shorin wrote, "The ocean of birth and death, of painful existence, has no bound. Only by the ship of Amida's universal vow can we, who have long been drawing, unfailingly be brought across it." So this is hymns from the Pure and Master, Collected Works of Shinran, page 363. This is the English translation of Shinran Shorin's wasans. So, well, today I picked, for example, this wasans to introduce using in my Dharma message. Then the next slide. So step 2 is a brief explanation of the teachings. So a brief explanation of these hymns, wasans. So these hymns of the Pure and Masters Bodhisattva Nagarjuna. This is a poem or hymns on the Nagarjuna. Then Bodhisattva Nagarjuna is one of the 7 masters. Then if you know enough about the Nagarjuna, Bodhisattva Nagarjuna, if you can, you also introduce who Nagarjuna is, just a basic information of Nagarjuna here. Then, you know, this hymn was talking about ocean of birth and death. It is Buddhist view of human life. So we live in the ocean or cycle of the birth and death. So last 2 Sundays, I introduced the realm of suffering, or 6 realms. So that is the realm of suffering. So that in this hymn, was Shinran Shorin was saying, ocean of birth and death. So basically, it is talking the same thing. So then life is suffering. Then suffering means, as I mentioned last Sunday, things are not going as we expect. So we can introduce a basic understanding of Buddhism of this hymn. The next slide. Then I can also introduce some connection between general Buddhism and Jodo Shinshu teachings. So one of the Buddhist principles is called 4 Buddha Seal, 4 marks of life. So 4 marks of life, then Reverend Dr. Kenneth Tanaka introduced in his book that he using big, you know, for us to remember. So easier to remember. Life is, so 4 marks of life is a bumpy road. So this is a rephrasing the teaching of life is suffering. Life is bumpy road. Life is interdependent. Life is impermanent. Life can be great. So life can be great is a rephrasing the nirvana is peace, talking about the nirvana. So these are the basic teaching of Buddhism. Then Shinran Shonin was using in his hymn, ocean of birth and death, ocean of birth and death. Okay, then the next. So next is, if you can introduce the reason why you chose this passage, you chose this teaching. That's nice. For example, when I took a Buddhist 101 class, I first learned about 4 marks of life. It gives me the opportunity to think about the reality of my life. Or when I learned the Buddhist 101 class, then I can connect this teaching to the Jodo Shinshu teaching. You know, somehow I was able to connect these teachings. Or when I attended the memorial service, one minister introduced this hymn in his or her Dharma message. So that struck me. So whatever the reason why you pick this teaching, if you can introduce, that's nice. Okay, next. Then the next is experiences, examples, and stories. You can share your experience, life experience, example, or stories which you learned, what awakened the teaching, this teaching which you picked. For example, so this is talking about birth and death. So sometimes I can connect this teaching to separating from my loved ones, my experience, separation from my loved one. My father's death or my grandmother's death, I can connect to that. Or somebody else's death. Then in Jodo Shinshu, this was also written in this book, introduced in this book, but white ashes. I can also introduce some passages or teaching of white ashes. Then I can also introduce my imperfect person, my Bonbu nature, which means I am still in the ocean of birth and death. Realization that I am still living in my birth and death, ocean of birth and death. Or sometimes I can introduce like a poem or gather or songs, lyrics, or some stories, your favorite stories. So something connect to, because if I just use a Shinran Shonin's poem, Shinran Shonin's hymn, sometimes it is not easy to relate this teaching to my our human life, daily life. So we need something in between. So sometimes like a poem or song or actual experience or someone's words, whenever you're like watching the movie, one scene struck you. So whatever struck you, then whatever that a poem or whatever reminds you of this teaching, you can introduce that experience here. So that could be not only, because at first we are quoting the teaching from Jodo Shinshu writings, but here you can also introduce some teachings from other schools too, other schools of Buddhism. But sometimes it is possible to bring something from other religion as well. If you are able to connect, this teaching to the Jodo Shinshu teachings, that's also possible. So that's, you can choose just one stories or two stories or one stories and one experience. That's it is depend how long you are thinking to talk. So you can add more stories in here. Then the next slide. So next slide is a conclusion. So the last part is the conclusion, is a merge my experience, my story with the teaching which I picked. So these two, we have to merge. Then I share. This is the wajai. This is how I appreciate the teaching. So today I picked this Wasan's hymns, the ocean of birth and death, of painful existence and has no bound. Only by the ship of Amida's universal vow can we who have long been drawing unfailingly be brought across it. So this is the teaching I picked. So kind of, start and goal has to be the same. I think this is the same as when you are writing the report or thesis, beginning and conclusion has to be matched, right? So that's why Jodo Shinshu, our sect of Buddhism, at first, we quote the passage from the teachings. Then the conclusion has to be based on that teaching. So then next slide. So this is just some example. So one is as a conclusion, I introduce how the teaching changed my life or changed my view. So this is, I would say, Buddha's wisdom, wide, sincere views. So this is kind of realization of reality of my life. So living in the world of birth and death, living in the ocean of birth and death. So, the realization of my kind of Bonbu nature, realization of my three poisons, greed, anger, ignorance, I can introduce here. Shinran Shonin's poem reminds me of limitation of my life, or Shinran Shonin's teaching or Buddhist teaching reminds me of one day we have to separate from our loved one, we love. So, but in our daily life, sometimes we don't think about that. But when we're listening the teaching, we think about reality of human life. Then two is, how do I appreciate these teachings? I would say Buddha's compassion, or I'd say great acceptance. So, as I mentioned last Sunday, we are in the cycle of birth and death. So Buddhist teaching is how we can liberate from this cycle of six realms. But, as a lay member, ordinary beings, we don't have ability to be freed from this cycle of birth and death. But Jodo Shinshu teachings, Amida Buddha's teaching is giving us a path, the Nembutsu path, for me to get to the Pure Land, get to the Nirvana. There is a path for me. So that's a one. And Amida Buddha prepared everything for me to liberate from the cycle of the world of suffering. Then Amida Buddha's compassion embraces, accept me as I am, anytime and in anywhere, regardless my age, gender, occupation, nationalities. So that's Amida Buddha's compassion. So, one and two. One is talking about the reality of our life. The number two is talking about how Amida Buddha rescued us from here to the Pure Land. So we have to have both. If we just talk about number one, reality of our life, kind of depression. Life is suffering. You have a greed, anger, ignorance. You are full of blind passions. If we only talk about that, kind of, I don't want to hear that. So, but Jodo Shinshu that message always has to talk about a compassion part, acceptance part too. So, because of that, Amida Buddha accepts us as we are. As we are. These two are the set, Buddha's wisdom and compassion is both two inseparable. We cannot separate these two. Then how do I apply this teaching in our daily life? That's maybe you can share how gratitude comes up, rises in your heart. So that's a conclusion, live with Buddha's wisdom and compassion, because as I mentioned, we only have human view, using the self-centered view to see, but when we are learning the Buddhism, we cannot get rid of our human view. However, we can use sometimes, Buddha's view to see our human life. Then we can accept things using Buddha's compassion. Although, we still have the Bonbu, ordinary beings. We are ordinary beings. We are not enlightened one, but we are able to have different point of view. I would say maybe wider view to see things and our life. Then it's cherish each day, each encounter, each moment, then giving me the direction, how I live my life, the destination we walk our life, toward the Pure Land and Satori, attaining enlightenment, Nirvana. We are walking toward that direction. So, and then living my full life. So our life has meaning. Everyone's life has meaning. No one's life living in vain. So that's a Jodo Shinshu's teaching. So that's, here conclusion part, we have to use our own word, because this is my appreciation. My appreciation and your appreciation different. We can use our own word, then we can share honest feeling, gratitude, and appreciation as a conclusion. So this is the basic of how to prepare, how to write the Dharma message. So I'm looking forward to somebody sending me your Dharma message. Like, Sangha class, one last assignment I'm giving them is write a Dharma talk. Then you have to deliver your Dharma talk in front of, you have to come here and deliver the Dharma message. So that is going to be the last assignment for the Sangha Dharma Award class students. So, during the summertime, I gave them the assignment, prepare your Dharma message. Prepare Dharma message. So, but, whoever you are listening, Jodo Shinshu teaching all the times, so you may have some your favorite teachings. So, writing the Dharma message is great opportunity to deepen your understanding, appreciation of the Jodo Shinshu teaching and the Buddha Dharma. So this is my Dharma message. Then if you have any questions, please let me know even after the service. Thank you for attending this service. To conclude my Dharma message, please join me in Gassho, put your hands together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Okay, thank you. Any announcements, public announcements?
Good morning. So if you have not seen yet, we will be having our 92nd Bonodori on July 20th and 21st. So we're 20 days away from Bonodori, essentially 21 days. Bonodori is going to be a little bit different because of the arson at the temple. But we will still have Bonodori. Please look to the website and click on the section for Bonodori for the most recent updates. We also have some sponsorship opportunities available. So we look forward to seeing you for our 92nd Bonodori. We will not be having practices, but please look to YouTube and the Seattle Bonodori channel for all of the dance practice videos. Again, because of the arson, we don't have the space this year, so brush up and we'll see you soon.
Any other announcements? Okay, so